Waking early's total hell today, man. I'm in heaven to plug my show on the radio with my homie here, Chris Evans. He was probably up at 7. Heck, probably up at 6. Yeah, I'm the dude from Man vs. Food, and I'm here for your foodie fix. I can say one word well with a Scouse accent. The word B-U-T, I can say well. Ready? Bull. We filmed with this wonderful chef named Mimo at Bella Vita in Glasgow, and his accent is a hybrid of Italian and Glaswegian.
Yeah.
So he'll start saying, "This is my ragu, this sauce, and we put in pork ribs and beef ribs, and I hope you like it." I don't know if there are American cities that can compete with the coolness of names of places here, and to film at a restaurant in Birmingham, and to find out that the mushrooms came from Ashby de la Zouche, like that is just, in Glasgow, the cup of Bovril is king. And we don't really have Bovril.
Yeah.
I just know Bovril because people give me grief when Spurs lose. I get tweeted, "Oi, cup of Bovril." There is such a sense of pride that, you know, a player can take in a player from another nation. I mean, like, Kaoru Mitoma is Japanese, and to see the way a young girl at Jalisco restaurant in Brighton speaks about him is just the most beautiful and glorious thing.
Virgin Radio.
He's the dude from Man v Food. Oh, yes, madam. Adam Richman.
Adam
Thank
Richman,
you.
let's hear it for
Thank you.
Adam.
Thank you, guys.
From
Thank
the
you so
class
much.
behind the glass. How are you, Adam?
Oh, I love seeing you guys again. It's always like the most fun.
Yeah, and you chat to everybody outside.
Everyone's just so kind here. Everyone's just really nice. I think that people think you do this press tour and it's sort of this droning thing. You guys always make me feel so lovely. So.
Well, I'm sorry you can't see London today because of the sleet and the snow.
I thought it was really pretty, though. It's the first time I think I've ever seen it snow in Britain. So it's really quite pretty.
Now, obviously, you've witnessed the snow, many inches of it in New York in the past.
All too well, yeah.
I was there a couple of weeks ago. You were kind enough to ask me about my experience during the marathon. It was unseasonably warm. What's it like at the moment?
Yeah, I've been here for a minute now, though, but I think that generally it seems to be unseasonably warm. We filmed in Brighton just a matter of weeks ago, and I was in a t-shirt while filming, so it's kind of crazy.
Let's not think about it too much. Oh my goodness me, whatever's going to happen is already happening. So Adam is here. Adam has been against food. He was Man versus Food for many years. Then he ate Great Britain, and clearly he's still not sated because he's now eating football. I've watched episode 1. You go to West Ham. You find out all about West Ham. I know you have. First of all, let's reestablish your foundations, your qualifications, your credentials to talk about English football.
Okay, sure. I mean, I love the game. I played the game. I'm a shareholder in Grimsby Town. I sponsor Broadley FC. I support Spurs for my sins. I love it, and I will do whatever I can to grow the game. But also, I think the real trick is to make a show with football that non-football fans would watch, and to make a show about food that non-foodies get into as well. And I think that to show that, like, the culinary culture of a football club is rich and varied and includes everyone. And it's not just burger, pie, chips, and like a cheeky kebab before the match. There's anything wrong with those, but you can get fresh, local, seasonal, affordable, awesome foods.
Yeah.
And, you know, post-pandemic, a lot of these mom and pop shops are hurting. And it's so cool to be able to give them their love and their chance in the sun.
So you literally kick off at West Ham, and you start with pie and mash, a signature dish for the UK, not just for football.
True.
How was your experience of pie and mash?
It was better than my experience with a roll mop. Which is herring with onions in it. Yeah. Oh, that was a little bit like that.
If you think about it, can you still taste it?
It's upsetting. Yeah, it was like the baton death march of my taste buds.
Yeah.
But you know, the other thing is you can't yuck someone's yum. So whether it was jellied eels or, you know, cockles or whelks. I quite like the whelks, actually. But I think that's the thing, too, is like G. Kelly on the Roman Road has served so many generations of fans.
Yeah.
We went to a wonderful pub called the Barton's Arms in Birmingham that's like 6 minutes away from Villa Park that serves Thai food. And I was there, like, sitting next to 3 generations of Villa fans, like this man with his daughter and his dad with him. And they all have different players they loved and different memories they loved of the same football club. And, you know, I don't think you could really be on the pitch at the City Ground in Nottingham and hear the Mull of Kintyre, or be at Anfield and hear You'll Never Walk Alone, and not feel something regardless of who you support. So this is just my love letter to football as much as my love letter to British food and British people.
It's good coming out of you, and you speak it fluently as well.
Thank you kindly.
Because what your testimony to is the fact that football, it's not just about the 90 minutes of the football match.
Never.
Clearly, look at the back page of the papers. Is it Tuesday or Wednesday? Tuesday. There was international games at the weekend, so there's not really any football to report on, any top level football to report on, but it's still full of football. The pages are still full of football.
Absolutely.
When the season's finished, it's still full of football. Because football is life. And around these pitches, it's the tradition of buying a season ticket, not buying a season ticket. Who are you going to sit next to? When you're going to get there? What you eat? Do you eat? Who do you eat with?
Yep.
And it's so sort of fulfilling. So, I love watching football. But what I love football for more is what it does for kids on a Saturday morning with the grassroots coaching, the national FA coaching scheme that both my twins attend at 8:45 on Saturday mornings down south. And then when I go and see my grandkids up north, 8:45 Saturday morning up north, because the FA have got it covered. It's football is so important to the UK, and food is so important to football. And you get posh football food. You get posh pulled pork at West Ham, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of it, that we filmed for the first episode. You saw there's a restaurant on the River Lee on a barge right in the shadow of the London Stadium. So that's the other thing too, that we wanted to show. Yes, there can be fine dining associated with it, but also never losing its roots. So eating with two Chelsea fans that are London cabbies at one of the Green Huts in Warwick Ave, or with a former footballer for QPR who now has a menu named after iconic Chelsea players on the Fulham Road. And I think that even going deeper, like going to Brighton and having mackerel smoked on the seashore, and then the owner's dog's running around with a Brighton kid on.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too, that whether we're going as far north as Scotland to film with Celtic or going all the way south to film with Brighton, the passion is the same. The foods change, the accents change, and as an American, like, that stuff's awesome. I did learn how to, I know that they usually hate when Americans say, try to do the accent, but I can say one word well with a Scouse accent. Yeah. The word B-U-T, I can say, we're all ready, bo. And I showed it to the chef Sam at Madre Restaurant on the Albert Dock, and he said, that's perfect. So I was like, all right, I'll take that to heart.
By the way, we don't hate it when Americans have a go at English.
Oh, really?
I love it.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's
I'm learning quite a bit. So Cockney, I feel very comfortable with. West Country, I got better at last season.
Give us a bit of West Country, come on.
Oh, this is my trotter. Would you like some cider from my farm?
That's pretty good, isn't it? That's up there with Gwyneth Paltrow.
Better than Dick Van Dyke, I suppose.
No, that's the thing. It's the Dick Van Dyke root of all the problems, because he's the only person who just couldn't do one.
I think that, didn't Kevin Costner also have a hard time in Robin Hood?
A little bit, but not as bad as Dick Van Dyke.
Right. And that's the other thing too, that we filmed with this wonderful chef named Mimo at Bella Vita in Glasgow, and his accent is a hybrid of Italian and Glaswegian. Yeah. So he'll start saying, "This is my ragu, this sauce, and we put in pork ribs and beef ribs, and I hope you like it, and we also put haggis on the pizza." And I'm like, oh, we're getting mad with it. And I was wait, what?
That's really good. Mad with it. Brilliant, by the way.
Oh, cheers, mate. Cheers, mate.
Different class, brand new, by the way.
And by the way, last time you were here, and I know you wanted me to freestyle. I didn't freestyle, but I did write a wee rap on the way over here in the car.
Mate.
May I go?
Can we finish with that?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Not yet.
All right, I was very nervous you might throw it at me again.
No, don't worry. Don't be nervous.
Okay,
no, be nervous.
I am nervous.
It's clearly good for you. Because Adam Richman ate Great Britain, right?
Correct.
But now you're eating football. You didn't eat the whole of Great Britain. There's plenty of it left. How much for football will you eat? Well,
I mean, that's the thing. We've been blessed because of our relationship with TNT that gets us into both Champions League and Europa League games.
Oh, is that how you wangled it?
Plus, we we wangled away and also got some Premier League games. So I think that it was quite amazing to show the gamut, because to go and see Bologna playing Villa and to see what that does to Birmingham, and by the same token, seeing Wolverhampton playing Brighton or Newcastle playing Brighton, and then it's a very different energy. And for me also, I've watched films like The Damned United. I got a chance to play with Michael Sheen in Soccer Aid. So then to be at the City Ground after hearing the legends of Clough and Taylor, Nottingham is not a city I think most American tourists ever get to go. So hearing your first Aop me duck, the first time you go, or you see the Taylor stand or the Clough stand, and like I said, hear the Mull of Kintyre, I feel it's just such a blessing, and really just a very rare opportunity I've been given. I don't think a lot of Americans get a chance to experience some of these clubs or see the tunes, sing the Bladen races. So
if there were like sort of 3 tent poles, or the holy trinity of football food in the UK,
yeah.
I think as an outsider, you'll probably spot them easier than we will.
Immediately.
I was going to say pies curry.
I would say for me, it tends to be right now, pies, burgers, and kebabs tend to be the top 3. But then, it really depends on where you go. Like, for example, in Glasgow, the cup of Bovril is king. And we don't really have Bovril.
Yeah.
I just know Bovril because people give me grief when Spurs lose. I get tweeted, "Oi, cup of Bovril."
Bovril, it can be posh as well. So you can have
you
can have what's called a Bovril with. And that's all it's called.
What's that?
It's a Bovril with ... but it's always with port.
Port?
Yeah, and it's stunning. I don't drink anymore.
You pour the port into the Bovril?
Yeah, it's a 2/3 Bovril, 1/3 port, and it is off the chain.
Oh, it must keep you warm. Like red wine.
That's what it's for.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what it's for.
Well, that's the other thing I quite love, that now, like it used to be, as Roy Keane said, the prawn sandwich brigade eating well and everyone else was doing fast food.
That was funny, man.
But now I think that there's just changes, and I think I love seeing whether it's a place fans gather. So there's a wonderful story in Nottingham about this guy who created the pizza dog, and it was an opportunity that the club gave him to create it for match days. And because of the account Footy Scran and the response he's gotten, he's now able to have a brick and mortar. And the idea that food and football have now allowed this man to change his and his family's fortunes, trajectory, lifestyle. That's a beautiful thing.
Well, that's the thing. I talk about Ant and Dec quite a lot when I'm having chats about the industry and people want to know this, that, and the other. I always say it's about physics, And the thing about Ant and Dec is their Saturday night show is so hot as a show. It's got so much heat in it because they're so good at what they do. And
they are great.
It's an amazing team that they can heat up other things. They're on their own are warm at best and cold usually. And I think football is such a fiery furnace of heat. It can heat up other things. So if you get close to it, and that's why football is so important to British culture and to our way of life and to, frankly, our economy, because it has this ability to heat the dullest, the darkest of Monday nights up, no matter where you are and what you're doing. And it is so joyous. And it does have its problems, of course it does, but it more than sort of makes up for them, I think.
Absolutely. And it becomes the lifeblood of a town. So I didn't realize, for example, going back to Brighton, that the stadium is nowhere near town. So the idea of that energy, it all happens at the train station.
Yeah.
And as the Albion faithful come together from Hove, from Brighton. I'd never been to Hove before. We ate at a wonderful restaurant called Etch. Also, to be fair, and I need to say this in earnest, I don't know if there are American cities that can compete with the coolness of names of places here. And to film at a restaurant in Birmingham and to find out that the mushrooms came from Ashby de la Zouche, that is just like, we don't have anything like that. And also, I quite love the fact like that you can go 1 hour east or west and the accent changes like dramatically. And I love what you said about it heating up. I mean, people live and die on that pitch with their team, and it affects their mood for the week, and it affects the way if a team wins, how many pubs, how many restaurants do well. Otherwise people go home. The idea that like the aspirational quality that I've seen men like tear up, women tear up speaking about their favorite moments or going with a relative that's no longer there. And so that's the connection to like that ground. When you go to the grounds that haven't changed, like City Ground, like Villa Park, like St. James's Park, to a different degree like Celtic Park, and seeing the way people talk wistfully about the Lisbon Lions, how, again, as an American, regardless of who I support, how can I not feel something? How can I not love this notion of being part of something larger than yourself?
Yeah, and I've got to thank your American brothers and sisters, because they as they get more involved in our football over here, if you're part of the financial aspect of it,
yes, sir,
some of the culture that they bring. So Wycombe Wanderers is now owned by an American family, and since they took it over, that's around the corner from where I live. Since they took it over, they have just, I don't know whether it came from them, but it happened at the same time as them. They said family, family, family. You get there early. There's family things going on. That's a lot more American than English used to be. And maybe we're going that way anyway, but I can't help feeling that the way that you celebrate the big ball games, or because it's mostly because of the geography of the United States, it's mostly home fans, isn't it? So there was always a less of a potential for a sort of unwelcome flashpoint. So it was always much more family friendly and safe, and I do feel that's coming over here. So thank you for that.
Of course. Well, I also think that there's an inherent degree of tribalism that people maybe are unaware of, and I think it leads to the highest moments of passion, and as you say, those flashpoints for perhaps moments of unpleasantness. And I think it was also important to show that it's not all, no offense to the brand or those who wear it, but the Stone Island Brigade, coming in looking for a bit of Barney. And I think that it's quite different now. And I love the fact that there are concessions made for the young fans so that they have good memories, so that a parent can bring a young child and imbue them with the same love that their parent brought. And to see again, I ate with 3 generations of fans in Nottingham at an amazing ramen place called Everyday People. And to see that they all, cottoned to different players, but the notion of glory of watching their players do well at other clubs, watching their players play well for their nations. And I just think there is such a sense of pride that, a player can take in a player from another nation. I mean, Kaoru Mitoma is Japanese, and to see the way a young girl at Jalisco restaurant in Brighton speaks about him is just the most beautiful and glorious thing. And she and he share 0 cultural touch points, yet she, like me, loves the way he plays, finds it exciting, loves his energy, and it makes the game more beautiful to watch. And I, like you say, very much about family, and I want to make sure that people that aren't really into football can still just appreciate the power and the pageantry of it all.
It's a great excuse to go out. We just need an excuse to go out and have a good time. We need to be reminded that we can go out and have a good time. Adam Richman Eats Football. We're talking to Adam Richman. Adam, you've had some of our football. How much more football will you eat?
As much as you can give me to eat. As much as I'm blessed to make shows here. Yeah, I mean, as an American, to be embraced the way Britain has embraced me still blows my mind. Being, that my great-granddad's from Leeds, and it's part of my heritage that I love exploring. And I'm an inveterate Anglophile. I'm that guy that has, both BBC America and has BritBox and a BBC iPlayer account, and, trying to watch, Phoenix Nights illegally online and do whenever I can. And yeah, I mean, I think that it's both a debt of respect and it's a culture I love learning about. I like admitting what I don't know and learning what I don't know. And so I'll eat as much football, but I also think that there's so many other aspects of Britain to explore. I'd love to do stuff about eating by the water's edge, because you have beautiful canals everywhere from Chester to Birmingham.
You can eat canals. You can just take all the icons of Great Britain and just eat them all.
Exactly.
Is that what you're going to do? Because I want you to do that.
I love boating. I've rented boats here, and I've sailed from Datchet up to Marlow, up to Reading, to Cookham, and I think, again, whether it's Lochs in Scotland, going to Weston-super-Mare, or going to Northumbria, or going to Whitstable or Margate, and experiencing these beautiful coastal communities. But again, I ate at a restaurant in Chester, right on the edge of a canal, Birmingham with its beautiful canalways. I think that there's just so much that there is to experience in Britain that I hope, I love hearing from Brits on social media saying, this thing was in my backyard and I never knew it was there.
More canals in Birmingham than Venice.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, it's amazing. You're great, Ad. You're great. You were great last time. You're great this time. You're always great. Stop being so great. It's my show. It's my show. It's my show. It's my show. It's not your show.
Sorry.
Adam Richman Eats Football premieres Monday, 2nd of December, 10 p.m. on the Food Network, and will be available to stream on Discovery Plus. It is great. We've seen it. It's great, isn't it, Vassos?
Oh, it's really
good. It's a really good show.
To be in your company, as you clearly
joyous.
Love. What did you describe herring as? Like French kissing the Little Mermaid or something?
Oh, my God.
You're so flipping. And you know what? I've been going to Fulham with my son since he was 4. He's 18 now. And I want to watch your show with him. Because the one thing it made me think is, we go to Craven Cottage, we watch the game, we come home. But we could extend that. We could extend that to having
if you start eating meat again, you could.
Yeah.
How much did it make you want to eat meat or fish yesterday?
The pie, especially.
The pie.
Yeah.
What about the pulled pork burger? Because that's when you melted. You melted on screen when you had a bite of that.
To the Rib Man, from the Rib Man of West Ham.
You literally melted. I saw
he's an exquisite talent, that guy.
No words were necessary. You took one bite and then you went...
Foodgasm. Yeah,
speak,
that's the truth.
Speak, Adam. There's no need to speak. This is beyond words.
Yes.
The beetroot samosa I was quite excited about as well.
No, you weren't. You just
Actually, you
you're
would
just
love
pretending to be.
the
No,
mushroom
because you wouldn't think beetroot and samosa, right?
at all.
No,
But
you
that
don't.
place is
You really
wonderful.
wouldn't.
But also, I have to tell you, there's a mushroom dish from Chapter Restaurant in Birmingham, which is just literally about like the championing the champignon of Ashby de la Zouche, actually, and it's a completely plant-based dish, and you would never know it. You would never know it. And I don't know. I just think there's a kind of imagination at play now in post-pandemic hospitality Britain, where you're seeing just entrepreneurial
And there had to be.
love.
There had to be.
Oh my God! Literally, one of the last locations we filmed at, I never even knew it was there. A Romanian couple that were semi-finalists on Bake Off Professional, called Prestige Patisserie. They are so incredibly in love with one another. The energy is infectious, but their food, I mean, they literally will like give you a taste of something, and the care, it transcends hospitality, and you'd never find it. It's like you have to look for it. It's at the end of an alley with produce markets.
Eldorado.
Yes, exactly. It's like Brigadoon. It's the Brigadoon of bakeries.
All right, Adam, thank you for coming again. You are going to now gift us, grace us with a rap. Tell us about this.
Oh, well, no, last time you asked me to freestyle and I was too nervous. So I was like literally on the way here. So I probably started this at 9:02 and finished it by 9:05. So I don't need a beat for it. I could probably just fly on it if you want.
Go on, off you go.
All right. Oh, God, I apologize to everyone at my network if this goes south. All right. Waking early's total hell today, man. I'm in heaven to plug my show on the radio with my homie here, Chris Evans. He was probably up at 7. Heck, probably up at 6. Yeah, I'm the dude from Man vs. Food, and I'm here for your foodie fix. Yeah, I'm a fan of the finest grand, and it may be quite a shocker, but most of you all know I love football and sometimes call it soccer. But whatever the name of the beautiful game, I watch it all, and now you know. Combine my love of foodie and footies into a sick new show. From the Scousers in the west to the Hammers in the east, from Glasgow down to Brighton, got the finest football feast, never quitting. I'm in Britain, exploring passion and to get work. I'm dropping the new hotness with my peeps on the Food Network, and I hope you think it's dope. I hope you watch it. What you reckon? Adam Richman Eats Football, 10 p.m., December 2nd.
And here endeth the Instagram post for today, because that's going to go viral straight off the bat. Well done, my friend.
Ashley Walters, give me a holler, man. Let's do it. I'm the not quite so deaf.
All right, amazing. Well done.
Thank you, mate.
Al, your wish is my command. So Al has just WhatsApped me now. Chris just had a brainwave. How about Adam at Carfest? Well, Adam and I are just literally signing the deal now. That's a contract there. You just signed it. Just put your name underneath it. To Chris. Thank you very much indeed. See you August. Adam is going to be at Carfest next year. That's brilliant. And you're going to cook what? Are you going to cook? How are you going to cook? What are you going to cook?
I want to cook on an engine block. I'm going to find like something with a nice, solid, like big engine block, and maybe do some like skewers or yakitori. On
you better with a flat 6 there, because
I think a flat 6 is actually pretty good, but that'll rev too hot.
6 in a row don't go.
Ooh, I like that. Or just a big old big flat caddy. Just cook right on the.
But if you want a really hot plate, you got to get a V8.
Ooh, that's big.
Come on, man! I can feel another rap coming on. All right. Right, Adam Richman eats the whole of football. Quick, go and see games while you still can, because he's going to eat everything in his sight to do with football and the UK. Premieres Monday, 2nd of December, 10 p.m. on the Food Network, and will be available to stream on Discovery Plus. The brilliant Adam Richman. One more round of applause for Adam Richman. Here we go.
Love you guys. Love you.
Yeah, baby.
Bye, Adam.